If your social battery dies after 2 conversations and a handshake, it is not your personality, it's a muscle you haven't trained. Energy isn't just conserved, it is cultivated. If you struggle with this social battery problem, it is very likely for this to be the cause. You're straining a lot of your mental capacity to second guess yourself, restrict yourself in some areas, constrain yourself, overthink about doing something, being afraid of being seen not how you want to be seen, being afraid of expressing yourself in a way you regret. And these all generally come from a lack of social experience. And if you want to deliberately go against this social battery, then you're going to need more practice. You're going to need to build that resilience. You're going to need to be able to trust people and see people less as obstacles. So I'm going to talk about how you can feel more comfortable around people, how you can challenge some of these annoying habitual thoughts that drain your social battery hella fast, and hopefully finally expand your social battery to a point where you don't have to worry about it anymore. First thing you can do is to make more physical contact so that you can feel more comfortable with the people around you. Research strongly suggests that physical contact builds trust and connectedness. If you struggle with this heavily, you might want to check out my video on how to escalate relationships. When we're around people we're not very comfortable with, we tend to box ourselves in. And as we restrain ourselves from, interacting with them in certain ways, saying things that could be offensive to them, the box gets smaller and smaller. However, if you're able to introduce more physical contact, get into handshakes, fist bumps, high fives, hugs, pushing each other around, suddenly things become way more comfortable. So if you find that your social battery is draining, first thing you can do to snap yourself out of it is to try to escalate physical contact. The other thing you could be struggling with is the inability to set boundaries. If you're afraid to say no and you're not very strict with your boundaries, what happens is you don't even want to spend time with people because you're too afraid to push them away when you're uncomfortable or you're not okay with something. You feel powerless when they do or say those things because you don't fight for yourself. From there, you need to learn the skill of setting boundaries through experience, through trial and error, through building your resilience, thinking about it through journaling. You're very likely somebody who's very afraid to make mistakes around people. So to deal with that, you have to kind of expand your capacity of expressing yourself. You're going to have to take some risk offending some people, disagree with people, suggest things that you want to do, and interact with people, not just follow along. You really have to kind of fight for yourself. If not, you're never going to feel safe around people. Everybody needs to learn to fight for themselves. You will have things you want, and if you just hold those back and always kind of force yourself to follow along because what you want doesn't matter, or you've convinced yourself that you're some righteous person that you're completely okay with anything, you let them have their way because you're just you're just morally that advanced, and you're probably going to struggle with trusting people and ever feeling safe around other people. You're always going to feel a little bit resentful, and that's never nice to yourself and even to people. They can feel it. Another simple but very powerful thing you can try is to choose activities where you feel more comfortable. When you go out with your friends, you're planning a meetup, do something you're good at. Do something you like and you're comfortable in doing. If you have no activities that you're good at or comfortable in doing, then that's a whole nother problem itself. You kind of lack confidence, my friend. You're gonna have to go pick up some shit, get better at something, because I bet you're not spending your time very well. Choosing activities you're good at and you feel more comfortable is going to be wonderful for you to build your resilience and kind of prove your value and competence to the group subconsciously. And because you're more comfortable and more competent in that activity, you realize that your social battery is much larger in capacity. You're more willing to be there, you're having more fun, because through that thing that you're competent in, that's a medium of expression for you. And because you're good at it, in that moment it becomes an extension of you, and you feel good about yourself, and you feel like you're able to freely express yourself through that medium. And from there, your social battery actually has more capacity. Lastly is your fundamental health. You are probably neglecting this: your sleep, diet, and whether you're keeping physically fit. Make sure your circadian rhythm is in check. You're not eating too much processed junk food, too much sodium, all these nonsense foods. You know what they are. Most of the time for people that are dealing with a lot of social issues, it is all from their fundamental health. There are many skills that can get you through, the base dog shit social struggles, but eventually you're going to have to fix your health. It is fundamental. Look at health as like your base attack stats. Let's say you're playing a game. If you have 0, or let's say your attack is 1, you're not going to upgrade your critical damage, your critical chance, your armor penetration, your poison damage or status effects. You're not going to upgrade any of that. You're going to upgrade your attack first. If you don't upgrade your attack first, none of those things you practice or add skill points to will scale. It's just inefficient, ineffective, and it's not going to be as powerful as if you just upgrade the fucking attack. But of course, since you're working on all this critical damage, critical chance by learning social skills and trying to develop yourself socially, that's going to be good for when you upgrade the attack. Yes, they will have some effect. They will definitely be useful. They're definitely going to have some significant impact on the way you function and operate in social situations and things like that. But if your attack damage is not high enough for you to even experience the good effects of those things, then it's just going to be counterproductive. Put more time into your sleep, your health, your diet, and keep yourself physically fit. Another part of fundamental health that most people skip out on is posture. You probably have anterior pelvic tilt where your ass kind of tilts up a little bit. You probably have forward neck posture, rounded shoulders. It could be mouth breathing and things like that. These are all very, very essential. Your breathing is an absolute life-changing game. Look at your fundamental health. Build your resilience by trying these techniques and trying to build your social battery capacity. So give it a shot. You got this. I love you. It's a better world.